Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope you're having a safe celebration, staying out of trouble. First candle day of the new year. And it's good to have you guys in the chat. Zachary Groob, Turd Ferguson, Radiel Gaio, Jason Casper, Paper Beats Rock, Kenny Ski, Etamea, Gazgano, Cameron McDougal, all my people. Good to see you guys in. Now, first things first, it's the last day to take advantage of the HOHOHO deal. I'm pretty sure that code expires after today, so if you do want to get Market Cipher, my brother Crypto Faces indicator, it's still 60% off one more day. So this is like your last stream to take advantage of that. And this LeapFrog indicator that I put out, I'm going to keep it at $200 for now. I like this price. Sales are still coming in. You guys really like this price. And I made a lot of people happy in the last couple of weeks putting this thing out. So I'm going to keep it at $200 for now. Shoot me an email at nickcipherfg@gmail.com if you want the tools that you see in the stream here. But you may notice that your LeapFrog indicator looks a little different. I logged in today and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I've been all gacked out, fasting. I took a nap, and I'm honestly just doing the stream because like I need a distraction because I'm doing like an end of year fast, so I'm not gonna eat until midnight tonight. But since it's a new year, notice how like our current year's VWAPs are all gone. And so now on our LeapFrog indicator, to show all of last year's VWAPs, we have to click previous quarterlies now. Because this is now last year's Q4. And last year's July VWAP. And last year's April VWAP. And the current month is usually white, but since the year to date is purple, I've disabled the current monthly VWAP down here because I'm gonna just use this new year to date VWAP. So now we're looking at overhead. The teal VWAP for us now is our December VWAP. That is our previous month's anchor up here. And now that it's a new month, it is lucrative for Bitcoin to trade back up to that previous month's anchored VWAP. We just have to be mindful though, guys, because since it's a new quarter, it's also lucrative for us to trade down to the previous quarter. So this is something that we've learned about anchored VWAPs by trading it for the last year, is when a new period begins, we like to trade back to the VWAP of the previous period. And so we're in kind of a mixed, uncertain time where not only do we want to have a monthly LeapFrog up to the December anchor, but we also want to have a quarterly LeapFrog down to the October anchor. Now, what happened at the start of 2024 was a kind of similar predicament here. The year starts strong, got the ETF hype and everything, but then we come crashing down, and where do we come crashing down to? We crash down to none other than the October 1st VWAP of the previous year. You see that there? Look at that. So it's not a perfect tap. The bulls are not satisfied with a clean support tap. It's more of a graze, a Trump's ear kind of moment. And then the mega rally resumes after that. And so, you know, we don't have to go all the way down to 82K. A grazing would be pretty bullish if we got close to it but didn't quite touch it. That would be pretty bullish. But for the time being, you know, what we want to do is we want to let Market Cipher B guide us to the destination. And I would say that the fact that Market Cipher B is now giving us a daily chart buy signal on the new year, it tells me that more than likely, guys, we're going to make this LeapFrog first. And we're not going to be having to deal with this quarterly LeapFrog, at least for a little bit longer. So just in the the medium term, immediate short term, or medium term, I think the monthly LeapFrog's happening first, guys. I think we're going to pump up to that December anchored VWAP off of this daily wave reading here. We definitely do have a lot of hidden bullish divergence. You see Bitcoin holding a much stronger level in price and sufficiently cooling off on its oscillators. So this disagreement between price and oscillator is pretty bullish. This is a bullish continuation pattern here on Market Cipher B. And typically when you make a call to the downside, like we do know that, you know, if we do start dumping this 82 level, like the 82K level here, you know, that is our level to watch. But you don't really want to make big ideas like that unless you have a justification. Like when we were back here, you know, Bitcoin was over here in the middle of December, and see the daily wave here. And so this is why I was thinking about a potential dump to 82K. Because Market Cipher B is giving me a wave justification for that kind of move to happen. Right? But when we bar replay this, you know, now what we've seen is that Bitcoin has held horizontal support. And now it might be time for the other side to take the reins. Now, this obviously could turn around when we zoom in. Look at the steepness of this 5-day trend, that black area, still in a downtrend. And so I consider myself still in knife-catching mode, but I do put my faith in Market Cipher, especially the daily time frame. It does a good job of calling the medium-term moves. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Looks like we got some Otter Gang folks in here. We got the big dog, Jason Casper. Mr. Dragonhawk. Good to see you guys in. Let me know if you agree that the beginning of the year is looking a little bit bullish. Now, a quarterly worry, a worry that I have for Q1 is, you know, we have a long time. We have until April here to get this party over with before it becomes very lucrative to come back to this blue line down here. So I don't know if we just pump up to the December VWAP and then just go straight down to the October VWAP, and then we kind of go bullish from there, and then we're able to go higher. Or if the quarterly correction is just put on ice and like we're up here pumping and going stupid, and sometime like toward the end of the quarter we get that crash, and we crash, you know, probably off around that April anchor, coming back down to this October 2024 anchor. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think we've seen the last of the blue line. I don't think we've seen the last of this 82K level, although the longer and more time goes on, this level does increase. And so that's Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin looking to just simply retest the previous month's anchor as resistance, backed up by a daily Market Cipher bullish wave. So that's Bitcoin. Now looking at ETH here, this is ETH BTC actually. ETH BTC, we've been monitoring this ugly right shoulder here. It's kind of like FE Ultis from 300, man. It's kind of a retarded looking right shoulder here, but this is what we're dealing with here. We want ETH BTC to slowly start scooping up, and we want this to be the bottom signal. It would be really nice if we could reclaim the previous quarter support. It is lucrative now that we've started a new quarter. it's lucrative for ETH BTC to go boop and at least retest the previous quarter's anchor as resistance, if not start slowly climbing its way out of the gulag here. And so with this chart in mind, seeing that we're eyeballing a potential bottom signal, we look at Ethereum here. And still a lot of indecision, but when I look at the daily, I do see that green dot looking like it's trying to turn around. Still early. We're still so early in this declining 5-day trend, that black area there. Market Cipher B giving us some pretty leading signals. We're still very early on these Market Cipher B signs. Hell, tomorrow they could disappear for all I know. But it's nice catching these daily scale green dots on Market Cipher B nice and early. Maybe ETH does have to come back up 9%, test that previous month's anchored VWAP as resistance. That'd be sick. We are in a new year here on Ethereum. Ethereum already got a year-to-date test as well, and so the fact that ETH got this kind of deeper correction down to that year-to-date, I ended up scooping some ETH in the 3200s here, and surprisingly it's held despite this like kind of lazy slash bearish 5-day trend. We see that same hidden bull div on ETH that we do on Bitcoin here. Let me show you. The waves have come down lower here, and the price has created a higher low. So fingers crossed here for ETH. ETH BTC chart shows a little bit of sign of hope, and the Ethereum chart itself, a little bit of hope there as well. You know, we did already get that tap of the previous quarter, and so it does just kind of make sense that ETH makes its way up to that previous month's VWAP. Now let's look at Solana. I don't like the inward curvature of this wave, but it is okay. You know, Solana getting this deeper buy signal down here, like at the end of December, coming up over that -60 line, so the bears losing that runaway train status on the daily. That's a very important thing that we like to see happen for the bulls to take back over. And so again, just like with Ethereum, you're dealing with a sideways, immature trend here. We don't have an uptrend yet, guys. But if Bitcoin's gonna pop, if ETH is gonna pop, maybe Solana pops too. Maybe Solana comes and retests that previous month's anchor there. XRP is you know, we've been eyeballing that $1.60, $1.50 level. This $1.50 level, that's our previous quarter's anchored VWAP on Ripple. But look at the daily now. Look, we're getting a green dot on Ripple's daily, holding these horizontal levels here. So I don't think it's lucrative to like bank on this play anymore down here to this $1.50 level. Not until we get a wave justification. You know, when Ripple was like up here, look at the daily time frame wave justification we have here to make that guesstimation that we go down there and we get that $1.50 Ripple. You know, this is valid. I would consider your idea valid if you were basing a huge quarterly dump off of an actual sufficiently bearish daily wave reading. But this bearish wave reading played out And so now what we're seeing is the bulls coming in here for a little bit of a resurgence. So for the time being, I'm not counting on, like, even though the 5-day trend is down on Ripple, this certainly could take that back over, and, like, this green dot could be fake news. That's definitely possible, guys. Definitely possible. But as of right now, as I'm looking at the charts, it seems to me like if you're going to make a call, it would actually be this move, right? Confirming the December anchor that was so important to us last month as resistance, at least. I mean, look at that yellow oscillator crossing up there on the daily. So, while Ripple had some strong levels that it could have came down to, I think as of right now it's holding. And so when these daily waves look bearish again, because the reality is we're probably not going to get another blob like this on Ripple. This is probably going to come up, do something like this, and whatever wave to the upside we get, it's probably going to tire out at that 60 line. It's probably not going to be another wave that goes over the 60 line and just goes absolutely stupid. It's going to be something more divergent. Even if we go higher, it's going to be like this, you know, where the waves go down but the price goes up. That's kind of what I have in mind for Ripple there. And man, just to round out my personal analysis here, I want to end with two other charts. I want to end with PEPE, which PEPE doing a great job, already retesting the December anchor here. So PEPE coming out the gate strong, already getting, this is the type of move that I'm looking to see on Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP. Is all those coins doing what PEPE just did, coming up and retesting last month's VWAP, the teal line. This daily wave reading is a little bit stale. You can see this is a little bit stale, but a little more juice left to go in this. And another thing is that if we start closing above the December anchor, you know that this has like a little more juice, whether it's a little bit of juice or a lot of juice. Once PEPE starts closing over 2-1, that December anchor, I think that it pops off for a little bit. And then finally, I gotta look at Link, because Link is my favorite altcoin project that isn't a shitcoin or isn't a meme coin. Link looks like we're very early to the table here, actually. Looks like Link is just settling down on the previous quarter's anchor, and this may potentially be one of the easiest long trades of the year right out the gate, guys. We're already, so we're starting Q1 of this year at the Q4 VWAP, the VWAP from last quarter. So I believe it is lucrative that Link comes up 25%, comes up, touches that previous anchored VWAP as resistance and either goes higher, or, you know, we'll have to monitor the larger crypto picture here, but I believe that Link, probably an easy 25% swing on Link. But if you wanted to be extra sure on like all of these crypto moves, you would wait for these 5-day trends to start scooping up. That black area still looks scary, man. You know, if you hide the price candles, this is like a head and shoulders of 5-day trend. See that black area in the back? Looking like a head and shoulders back there, so you know, the daily wave on Link looks like it might clip up soon. Still a little bit early, but I'm just coming out now while it's still knife catch time, letting you guys know that things could turn up soon in the cryptos, and then sooner or later these 5-day trends will scoop back up into an uptrend. and we find ourselves more in like an environment like you know, like more like back here where we have an actual uptrend that we can long at and stuff. So look at Link on the 2 hour here. I just like picked a random time frame, but Link on the 2 hour here has some built up, bottled up momentum here. We're settling down right on this quarterly anchored VWAP. Two VWAPs we were looking at. I'm back to Bitcoin here real quick, just if anyone's new tuning in. The level to watch was definitely this red November 4th VWAP. This is the Trump VWAP from election day back here. Bitcoin finally came down and tested this VWAP, and we entered a long in the VIP. Now, we took a little bit of profit on this long at that declining 5-day simple, because you are longing in a downtrend, so you got to take your profits when you're doing this shit. This was a knife catch for sure. And we're also in a short from up here. We shorted the Drone Pal. This is the Drone Pal VWAP from Fed Day. Once price had come up into here and started looking weak there, we shorted this. And so right now we are short from here and we are long from here. Both trades we took profit in, but both trades are still open. I don't know, maybe should I close the short, guys? I think I might close the short. I'm not sure. But you know, in hindsight, I'm glad we trusted these VWAPs. We were actually putting out trade signals on these powerful anchored VWAPs because we're farther along than most people when it comes to anchored VWAP knowledge. Like, we already trust them. We don't need to be sold on the idea of, oh, is it going to work? I don't know if I want to put my money on it. We've seen it enough times where, like, I'll put the trade out. This thing's definitely resistance when we come up here, you know, and this thing's definitely support when we come down here. And you put your stop loss on the other side of it. Like when you short it, like when we shorted this, we just put our stop loss behind that previous month's anchor with our target down there like that. So yeah, the anchored VWAPs, it's like a shield. It's like a shield and a sword in one, man. But Bitcoin here, digging its way out of a 5-day trend. It's got everything it needs to do so. We've got a bullish 1-day reading. Look at this bullish daily market cipher read. Like I said, still in knife catch mode, but this is the shit you want to see. A yellow oscillator crossing the zero line. Nice deep. A deeper trigger wave in a bull market. You see this larger daily environment of where there's not much momentum here below the zero line. It's a desert down there. And so the few times that we do go down there from a wave perspective, that's going to be the golden opportunities, guys. So we can't miss this. So I had to get us into this knife catch long, even if it stopped out. That's why I said take some profits at the 5-day simple. Yes, I know we're in a downtrend, but this is too juicy to give up. Jason Casper says, funny, I was about to close a long today. I'm such a flopping groper, I can't tell what she wants to do. I don't think it's your fault, Jason. I think that the best way I could explain the price action is that it wants to do two things. It wants to get pulled up to the previous month's anchored VWAP. You know, it wants to get pulled up to like 98K up here. Because that is the previous month. We're in a new month, and going back to the previous month's VWAP is like where the price feels safe. And so that is like the medium kind of week to week kind of undulation that's happening. But there is a larger undulation on the table, which is the dump from this new year to date that just spawned today. We might be getting pulled down to that previous quarter's anchored VWAP a little bit too. And so maybe once Bitcoin's done having this little upwards undulation, maybe it does go down there and it does do what you were thinking it was going to do, Jason. So I'm not necessarily bullish. If we start pumping up, guys, I'm not necessarily like big time bullish until we actually start closing over the December anchored VWAP, because that still could be resistance. Look at that yearly candle for Bitcoin. Holy smokes. That's a doozer right there. Let's see what's the percent on this guy. Man, 121%. That's crazy. I would think that, you know, even if this is another crazy bullish candle and we're just going to the moon, we still want to see a bottom wick here. So, you know, expect January to be an indecisive month where we reckon with pumps up to the previous month, dumps down to the previous quarter, all sorts of uncertainty. But then by the end of January, the larger yearly trend will show itself. And we've got a month or 2 months of that trend going strong until April hits. And then when April hits, we might have to deal with some macro digestion. You know, back here on Bitcoin in April, that was the start of months and months of digestion there. Back here, this was... over here was April of 2023, so you could see how from this day, we pretty much were just sideways macro. And then over here, this was April of 2022. This was a actual top. And so, in bear markets, Aprils are abysmal. In bull markets, Aprils are kind of like a pause. And it makes sense because you have a strong coming out the gate moment, you know, beginning of the year, and then you want to cool off into those summer sell-off months, and you want to make sure that you're where you need to be for the holiday season. So April through all the way through the summer typically like isn't that good for the markets. But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much my spiel. We're dealing with that buy signal on Bitcoin there, and that's bleeding into cryptos. Now, before I get into the chart requests, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at FloppingGroper here. I got TA, I got wisdom, and all sorts of good shit. And this is our crypto bubble. It's these pudgy penguins. These damn penguins keep pumping. Virtual is protocol. I don't know much about that one. But look at Pepe, guys. Pepe, 13.6%. I think this is because Elon Musk changed his profile picture on Twitter to Kekius Maximus. And little things like that are why you need to be on Twitter, guys. You have to be on Twitter, following who I'm following, watching what I'm watching. I like crypto Twitter because it gives you a sentiment read that you just don't quite get anywhere else. So I feel like if you're not on Twitter already, you're a little bit behind the times. It's been a long time since you've been behind the times, but it's never too late to get on here and join the community of traders that's on here. It's definitely a unique community from like Instagram and YouTube and stuff, so definitely join the Twitter trading wave. And this is a better platform where your voice will actually be heard by other people. On YouTube, you know, you just get to watch me talk. On Instagram, you just get to see everyone posting pictures bragging about shit. At least on Twitter, you can say something back. But without further ado, let's go over some chart requests. But let me grab a... Let me make a coffee, actually, real quick. Let's take a little bit of a break here. I'm starving. I'm absolutely starving, guys. I've been fasting since midnight yesterday. And so I'm glad I'm streaming because I need this distraction right now. But let me go make a coffee, and we'll be back with full 30 minutes to an hour of chart requests. and let's get into this shit. I'll be right back. Yeah, right. Got a fresh coffee here. Checking the chats. Habibi. Who's the Habibi? Good to see you, Habibi. Happy 2025. Happy New Year's. Getting into some chart requests here. Oh shit, let me check the stock market real quick. How we doing over? Oh man. I don't like that the stock market is underneath previous quarterly resistance right now. This really needs to come up, man. You know, this is something that I don't know if I like that. I don't know. Maybe it's bullish because who knows, man? Shit. Like, I don't know. It's a new year, so these VWAPs are technically less important. But the S&P really needs to come back over this quarterly support, man, or else this looks really bearish, divergent, money flow tapering out. This is definitely something I am concerned about, and a reason why I'm a little cautious about saying, oh, everything's going to the moon. I'm more of a pragmatist. But for the time being, the cryptos are looking okay for now, you know, on their own right. But we want this stock market to come back up, man. But yeah, let's do some chart requests. Put them in the chat. Cryptos, stocks, whatever. Give me the ticker. Tesla, man. That's a wonderful pick. Let's take a look at Tesla. Looks like Tesla's coming off of a blow-off top here. Market Cipher daily time frame losing the 60 line. We're seeing now the ramifications of that. Really no structure until 9% down to that previous monthly anchor. So expect Tesla to be trading down at 368 at the very least in the coming days. Just analyzing, you know, what I'm looking at right now is these purple ones. The purple lines are very important because these are our year-to-date VWAPs. So let me get rid of some other shit just to kind of, I need to look at the big picture real quick. You know, it looks like Tesla did get some good structure on both these these yearly VWAP. So it's not like it just, oh, and then it needs to, okay, it's definitely coming down for a year-to-date retest because it never got it in here. It's not like that. We're not dealing with that. This looks like some healthy structure. So, I mean, I'm not advocating we dump all the way down to like 232 or 220. But I think that a modest pullback just back to the previous month's anchor would be nice. And if you're bullish on Tesla, just put a VWAP at this high. We got to get over like 438 to kind of flip this bullish again. But as for trading it, to me it may not be the best trade because look at the slope of that 5-day trend still up. So you may be looking at a very choppy way down. If you're a bear, you're not gonna like the way it gets down there. If that makes sense, because that 5-day trend is so strong. You are a little bit late in the larger swing move. Although you know where it wants to go, right? You know it wants to go down to like 360, so. But, man, if you can catch these shorts like closer to when it loses this VWAP at the high, like right as the market cipher waves are losing that 60 line, like right in here, usually a good time to hop in on like the large swing move. So far this isn't stale. It's not like it's down below the 0 line and you're still shorting. It's still high up here above the 0 line. So there's a little bit of juice left in that short. But again, I do like to trade along with the trend. So the fact that Tesla's in such a strong 5-day trend, you know, back here was a point in Tesla's life that I would have felt a little better about shorting in, you know. So maybe just wait for Tesla to pull back and see if you can get a long down there at around 366. If I enable some other VWAPs, these are some other supports that you could watch out for. Previous quarterly support down at 328. So I think the lesson with this chart, folks, is that we don't really want to tell your grandma to buy Tesla right now. But if Tesla dips to 366 or 324, then maybe you could tell your grandma to buy some Tesla. Next recommendation is Apple. You know, this is still knife catch mode to the downside because by definition we would be shorting in a strong 5-day trend. Look at that 5-day trend like that. But you do have a very convincing market cipher reading here. So I'm not just looking at the red dot, I'm looking at the fact that it's lost the 60 line. What about the daily? Yeah, that is the daily. Yeah, so the daily on Apple just lost that 60 line there. That's a signal of the runaway train status being revoked. And so, like I said, it's a knife catch We may not like how we get there, but it really looks like Apple wants to trade around these 238 and 228 levels. Next recommendation is NVIDIA. So on NVIDIA, what this drawing that you're seeing here is a doomsday worst case scenario, the types of signs that we don't want to see on NVIDIA. So as you guys know, it's the first of the year, and so a new year-to-date VWAP, a new purple line, just spawned. And so what we do not want is to fall under 2 years year-to-dates. And so all I was doing in my last stream was simulating a world where we somehow find our way beneath 2 year-to-dates. Like if the price started chopping its way down here and just being very disappointing, and boom, you get to this point here, a lot of people would buy here because that is objectively good value. You're under like 2 years year-to-dates, but my fear is that those 2 year-to-dates might be too heavy, and then you get, boom, you get that dump down to the previous year-to-date. And so this was just an exercise in macro bear market, you know, preparing for that potentiality, what it would take to get down there to something like this. So not that I think it's gonna do this quite yet, but that's the type of foresight that I'm applying to the markets. Like I don't want to see us falling under 2 years year-to-dates. We want to hold up here. We want to get on top of these VWAPs and have a good start to the year. But right now, NVIDIA is on the daily. It's pinching to the downside on Market Cipher. You've got a succession of lower highs here. Yeah, I mean, the way this daily wave reading is established here is like, it's got you looking to the downside. And so what are your downside targets? And a Q3 VWAP is not a very convincing bottom to me. Nor is an April VWAP. A year-to-date VWAP is a convincing target, but it's a tough call, man. But NVIDIA just looks kind of bearish. And it's hard to discern like how far this wants to go. But maybe it finds strength up here, probably at like one of the previous 2 anchors, and continues on its little uptrend a little bit more. But you've got the levels with the LeapFrog indicator to watch for, where like, you know, it'll tell you if a freaking bear market's coming. As of right now, that's not the case, but what you really want to see is us to cling up here in these ranges, and all these VWAPs get pulled up. And by the time we're on top of some VWAPs, this right here, I would be talking very nicely about NVIDIA if we were in this position right here. So a lot about what I talk about just kind of comes from what side of the VWAPs are we currently trading on. Right now it doesn't look so hot. Taking a look at Palantir Technologies here. Similar to Apple and Tesla, you've got a fresh, bearish daily read here. The money flow is very thick, but this very well could be the top. A 57 level on the money flow is very high. This very well could be a peak in that money flow wave. it's not the best short because of just the overall strength of this asset. Like, see that rising 5-day trend? But it does seem like Planetar wants to trade down to something like the previous month or the previous quarter's anchor off that new year. But it's not like I'm saying to short it. I'm saying if you get a nice pullback on Planetar, you want to watch how the candles are reacting to it. But you might want to... These are much better levels to buy at than the current prices down here at like $61, $67. The Echelon Show wants me to check Sol. I did check Sol earlier in the stream. But we'll take another quick look at Solana. Sol BTC. You know, this is an interesting chart. Coming up over that Fed VWAP. See the red Fed VWAP from the FOMC day? So ever since the FOMC day, we've slowly dug our way into an uptrend on Sol BTC. So that's a good sign. Now, if Sol BTC just simply goes back up to its year-to-date, which means Sol is valued in Bitcoin from a good yearly VWAP standpoint, that's 17%. So, we want to look at this Sol chart. Is there some volatility? Does it look like it's looking like a juicer? It's kind of a stale, long reading from down here. You know, right here when we reclaimed the 60 line, that was a big signal. And you do have an upward target. You've got that December VWAP. So it's the start of the year. We're in January now. It would be super easy to get that 11% tap at the previous month's anchor. So just like how I'm long on Bitcoin, I guess I should probably enter a long on Sol. I just don't really like the inward curvature of this wave reading. And like the money flow had just poured out here on the daily. Sol's daily just looks a little wonky to me, but it probably is going to come up and retap that previous month's VWAP at least as resistance. And so that's where I'm at with Sol. It may be eyeing a larger pullback down, but as of right now, I'm kind of looking up on Sol. Mark Dutch has an altcoin for me. Let me search this Vanry coin. I think Mark Dutch is onto something here, folks. I think that the daily Market Cipher B wave is one of the better looking daily bullish waves that we've analyzed in crypto. Still in knife catch mode, bro. That black 5-day area is still in a 5-day downtrend. Gotta be careful, but if you dig yourself into that uptrend again, got a very, very nice move. Simply back up to the year-to-date VWAP as resistance. What I like about this chart is that we dump below the purple line, Vanry's year-to-date VWAP, and we never like come up and like tap it as resistance, like this move right here. So that move's like definitely in the cards, man. That's definitely. I think you might have a winner here, man. It's hard to see now because like the candle hasn't started moving yet, but there's a chance that this gaps up to that 14-cent level for you. Here's the thing though, man. Like anyone who's longing cryptos right now, most cryptos are in the same position. They're in this declining 5-day SMA. under a lot of VWAP, so it is good value around certain VWAPs to long right now, but it is still early. Still early. But I came out tonight hopeful because look at what we're seeing on Bitcoin's daily chart here. This is big stuff here, a green dot like that. Paper Beats Rock wants me to look at Phantom. Phantom, interestingly enough, getting a full-on year-to-date retest. That's a crazy pullback, man. Damn, 60% pullback. But here's the thing, guys, is this may look hopeless currently, but see that daily wave about to pinch to the upside, RSI's oversold, yellow oscillator pinching up, and we're here at a nice key level. I'm kind of bullish on Phantom, man. I think that it's likely going to reclaim this year-to-date VWAP here shortly. Even though, like I said, it's like we're in this crazy downward 5-day trend. It's still knife catch mode, but this might be a knife to catch because if Phantom can gap from the year-to-date back up simply to the previous month's VWAP, that is a massive life-changing move. That is a 65% move. Absolutely massive. I mean, that's the pullback. If you believe in Phantom and it's up here at these prices, you're like, oh, I wish I could just get in at year-to-date prices. I wish I could just get in at 67 cents. And now that it's here, you know, you got that cold feet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now, look, it doesn't look like it's slowing down right now. You know what I mean? But maybe just give it a day, bro. Give it a day to at least get like a little green dot on this daily wave. Let the buyers come in. Let some buyers come in and like make this look halfway decent. And look at that beautiful, in the chat, someone mentioned this beautiful head and shoulders down here. You know, you might at least, even if this chart is giga bearish, you should have like a bearish head and shoulder. Like I would expect this to, if it is gonna shit the bed, it's still gonna do something like that. You know? So the anchored VWAPs, the LeapFrog lines, are the lines that you get the best stink bids. You can just put an order down there and hope it's a good one, you know what I mean? But we'll see, man. To me, though, if I was a betting man, I would say in the next day or so, this shit definitely pinches over. I like what I'm seeing with that yellow oscillator. Though it is, my brother talks about inward curve. But either way, that yellow oscillator looks like it wants to cross. Glad you guys are hanging out with me instead of driving around. A lot of retards out there tonight, man. You got to be careful out there. Crypto Crank says, just been zoned, haven't followed any Discords or Telegrams. That's good, man. You know, once you have your edge, unless your career is in this field and you're like me and people rely on you and shit, like, it's good to not pay attention to other people and just focus on your edge. I think you're smart to do that, Crypto Crank. And as for me this year, you know, my job as like an analyst or like whatever, you know, trying to be this guy for like Market Cipher, like definitely came at odds with the actual trading many times. So it's a give and a take for me, man. But yeah, man, I'll give you a wrench. Let me give you a wrench, bro. Mr. Timu wants me to look at this coin super. Be on the lookout, man, for that little undulation to the upside here in the coming day or two when this daily wave pinches over. Got the yellow oscillator starting to aim up. RSI's picking up. You know, you've got a counter trend, a downtrend pullback, right? Something that, even if it's bearish, it's still gonna like come up first and do some shit. If not, come all the way up and retest that previous month's anchor there. So your super coin's probably gonna pump another 10%. If you're lucky, you'll get that 30% move up there. Alright, let's look at Filecoin. I like Filecoin on the daily. I don't know why the VWAPs aren't spawning. Let me try a different chart. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I mean, we're starting brand new month, and the previous month is 33% away. So, I mean, you might have some chop and some bullshit to deal with, but I think that's where it's going, guys. It wants to go back up to 650 right now. It wants to retest the year to date. This thing's gonna like come up and bearishly. This interaction is all I'm talking about right now. What happens after that? Don't ask me for shit. I have a flashlight basically that I can shine and I can see 15 feet in front of me, but I gotta see what happens at these VWAPs. Juan Garnico wants me to look at Turbo. Turbo's pretty tightly coiled up, man. You know, it doesn't really have... Actually, that is good volatility. Holy shit. Man, this thing's... I like the volatility here, but, you know, it is nice if we trade up real quick to that previous month's VWAP. An 8% move, and then we go from there. You can see the daily wave is about to pinch to the upside here. So you're about to get a little boop, you know? In that red money flow wave. Still in the early stages of hope. Hope has barely even begun to manifest. Bitcoin just barely starting to print a bullish daily wave that hasn't even confirmed yet, so you know, this is all an if-then statement. If Bitcoin does well, these altcoins, they come up and they get those monthly anchored VWAP retests. And then who knows what they do from there. This turbo could just kind of pump and go stupid again, but we've got some downward targets to look at. You know, you've got the year-to-date down here, down at like a half a cent or whatever. Let's see, so Yeah. That's like 44% away if you get a year-to-date retest. This is Turbo all 2024 here. I don't think it necessarily has to go down to that in 2025. It could keep going up. But we'll see, man. Oh, dude. Someone said Litecoin. I know Litecoin was bumping today. Litecoin daily chart giving us a camel toe Kamala Harris bottom here. Perfectly even butt cheeks. I've never seen something so supple in my life. A clean year-to-date test back on December 20. Still in this declining 5-day simple black area downtrend. But seeing the signs of that getting undone here, a daily wave reading, you know, you'd expect that to come up to that previous month's VWAP, 13% there. Sometimes I misinterpret the size and the scope of moves. Like, if I do bar replay and we go right back to, like, this point in time right up here. You know, look at this bearish wave reading. So when you're looking down, it's like, damn, like how far below can we go? And you just have the guesstimations. And look, it goes down there and it does that shit. You gotta have an open mind with these VWAPs, man. Two people in the chat asking me to look at coin stock. Let's take a look. The Coinbase stock. It's coin. It's the Coinbase stock. Man, this chart looks like Ethereum, bro. It's just, it's like a divergent. Man, look at this. It's like a higher high on the weekly, and then the weekly waves have lost that 60 line on Market Cipher B. Like, this wave top is kind of damning because, like, it's a bear div. We're not getting that runaway train status on the momentum waves on the weekly like we were getting back here. And the thing is we're entering into a very choppy net of VWAPs here. Like, you want me to like zoom in here and tell you like exactly how this shit's gonna play out, man? This is a choppy. We're also in the middle of it all. So not only is there like all these VWAPs in this tight range, but we're right in the middle of it. So this is a tough call, man, not gonna lie. But let's look at the daily wave here. You know, the fact that we pump out of the year today, like, see this move here, how we pump out, and you can see why it's dumping down so sharply, because we never just get like a healthy year-to-date test. And so if I was a betting man, I would say Coinbase stock is probably going to retest its year-to-date and hopefully go bullish from there, but you want to see how it holds around that $220 level. And to anyone trading it, like, you're in that knife catch kind of downtrend kind of environment. I get a little tripped up though, because like now it's January and you're thinking, well, maybe it does want to go up here to the December VWAP, but that would be a counter trend move, like going against the downtrend. So it's just a mess right now, man. It's a hot mess. Once it finally finds its way down to that year to date, you've got something a little more actionable. Captain Crypto wants me to look at Marathon Digital. Man, is this the only crypto chart that we have on this shit, man? This is not the best, man. This is not the best. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay, here we go. Damn, man, you're at some good year-to-date valuations already. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, getting that year-to-date pullback when you break out of it and you don't get that healthy structure. So right now, Mara Holdings is it's at some good value. Let me look at the weekly here. Dealing with macro bearish divergence. But I think it's likely that you chop up in here back in these VWAPs. You get a bounce. You get an interaction off of this VWAP here, man. Just give it, see the daily about to coil to the upside, get a green dot for you. So while this thing is looking a little bit scary on that macro weekly, a lot of that has already played out. And so here we are at some kind of Warren Buffett valuations, like basically under, and since it's the new year, we're now under 3 years year to date, so could be a strong bottom, but just recognize that if this thing stays under 3 years year to dates, that's very heavy. Now, obviously, if that happens, you're looking at like a macro top situation. So hopefully, like very quickly in this new year, we get back up. Definitely don't want to lose this critical year-to-date support. Yeah, it's a tough one, man, because it's definitely some decent value, but also I know most of you guys are leverage traders, and you probably don't have the type of money to be making huge, gigantic moves like that. Like, I like to go with the trends. The fact that this black area is sloped down, it's tough for me, man. Like, I don't like to call trades that aren't backed up by a strong 5-day trend. But you do have a potential knife catch off that year to date. All right, let's take a look at SEI. Similar to other cryptos, just kind of waiting around, seeing if Bitcoin can get that daily wave pop to the upside. Now, if SEI retests its previous month's anchor, that's a 40% move. So this move is likely to happen. Or at least just an undulation, you go a little bit past this anchored VWAP and contend with this previous high back here. And then maybe it takes so long that we get another bearish wave indicator, then it just goes lower. But either way, I think this is going to at least pop up like 10%. If not, if it doesn't do that, it might go higher. It might go all the way up to the previous month there. Those are the kinds of swings I was calling all in 2024, man. Just like big. It's kind of unreal, man. But when you know that it likes to trade back to the previous period, it gives you a little more confidence, a little more bravery to make big calls like that. Jacob Virgil wants me to look at BitF stock. BitF stock seemingly in free fall here. A large kind of macro, big macro pattern there to the downside. Still in that strong 5-day downtrend. Underneath, we're underneath like multiple years, year-to-date VWAPs. It ain't looking pretty, man. I mean, if you put a VWAP off this low, you fall below that. So like, what kind of lifetime structure are we even holding here? If you put a VWAP all the way in the beginning, we're under that. So I don't know much about this stock, man. You know, if it's something that has good long-term potential, we probably do cling up here, and this is simply the bottom of one of these undulations, and like you go back up there, and you could potentially pump like 70% just to get back up there like that. The daily wave is definitely looking like in the coming days it may try to do something like that, but you're in such a strong downtrend. I certainly am not entering any kind of longs on that as of yet, nor would I look to invest in this currently, but it looks bad on the weekly, bro. It looks like you don't want to touch this, man. Like, let it play out, because that money flow is pouring out. And we're just dealing with this, like, macro top off of this gigantic lifetime VWAP. I definitely got some thoughts on SWE. Someone in the chat mentioned SWE. SWE holding real nice. SWE is looking real good. Hoping that this daily wave simply pinches up and it ends up being like one of the more bullish daily wave setups in crypto. As of right now, it's a little bit early still, but you can see us coming up and looking to reclaim on top of the previous month's VWAP. So this is what we want to see. Like, we're getting January spawn, new year to date. Boom. As soon as we can get over that teal line there, we're over the January and the December anchor. And you've got this good curvature here on the Market Cipher waves. The 5-day trend is starting to flatten out a little bit for you. So, you know, that's a big concern, is the fact that this black area that you see is sloped down. It's not good for longs, but that will slowly change here, I believe. All relying on Bitcoin following through on its daily wave reading, but if it does, I believe SWE comes and breaks and goes back into Buzz Lightyear mode again. So if SWE can especially get over the Fed VWAP, that's pretty much the only VWAP left in terms of VWAP resistance, is this $4.34 level on SWE. That's your Fed VWAP. You can bust out over that, you go Buzz Lightyear mode again. These are your levels to watch, and these are your levels to hold. If SWE ever like breaks down below the Trump VWAP, you know, sometime in Q1, and you may get a deeper correction, but right now it's looking good, man. I like this daily wave. Looks like it's about to do something cool. Taking a look at Amazon here. Amazon dumping in an uptrend. You see that strong 5-day black area uptrend there. So getting looks like some knife catch shorters are kind of eaten right now. Might need to settle down at that previous month's anchor around 212. Then you'll have to take it from there, man. After that, you probably get a little bit of a medium term bounce as that 5-day simple kind of curves back down on you. And that's about as far as I can look forward, man. Who knows what happens around this anchor, or if it cracks down lower, but if you have my LeapFrog indicator, you've got these strong levels of support that it'll likely bounce off of. Didn't I look at Super today already? Didn't I look at Super already? Yeah, man, Super, like, it's like a lot of shit coins. It's got like a good wave reading coming for it here. So like in the medium term, I'm in like knife catch long mode on a lot of cryptos. That's pretty much where I'm at. Alright, hell yeah. I think, let's do one last request. Let's take a look at Deep, and then I'm going to post the stream. I'm going to do timestamps on it. Good little New Year stream. Deep holding that previous month's anchor really good. Look at that shit. In a similar situation to SWE, if this daily thing pinched to the upside, that could be powerful. You're really trying to get over 10 cents on SWE. That Fed VWAP. If you break out of that Fed VWAP, you go Buzz Lightyear mode again on SWE, or on Deep. If we do ever lose like the December VWAP, you know, you could get these deeper corrections and stuff, but we'll take it as we come. But yeah, I hope you guys like the analysis. Make sure you like the stream, and I'll be back in a couple days.